I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. See. We have some fantastic guests today. I'm going to start over here with the train. And with our youngest guest. Oh, here's the guest. And Jeff Collins, he's guest of my dad and I.
Thank you, Jeff Collins. I'm representing for good legacy.
A public servant who served from 2011 through 2019 in North Carolina House Congressman District 25, right? All right. Do you have any guesses this? Yes, Sue.
Hi there, I'm Sue Keith. I have been in Raleigh for about 20 years. I live in Chicago, and I have been working.
Okay. You have a special needs as well.
Don't forget really engaged father here who is about 89 years old. And I am equally pleased to have my son Jack, who is 8 years old and will be 9. He's a 3rd grader, moved to elementary school here in Raleigh, and I think you would like to know that he's also a member of the Capital City Resident Club.
Returning guests.
Yes, returning guest. My name is Jeff Hayden, one of the owners of the generator super center of we can do a whole home and those who are looking non-equitable use. Something with me today, our general manager, Brian Atkins, in the generator.
Thank you. Very racist. We have talking about together. Thank you.
Yes, I'm a returning guest. My son Malcolm is 3rd grade at Irvington Elementary School, and he's my executive assistant for the day. Mom is 5, whichever one you want to choose.
And Manso with me, he is just at the bar. He's one of our bright young attorneys at Smith Anderson. He's a state grad and Carolina Law, got a law school over there, and made it back home to Raleigh. So big thanks.
And I think Tiffany said you have one more guest. This is Marcus Ogden. He is Marcus Ogden. With his own company, Inspirational Meter. Thank you, Tiffany and Marcus. Welcome. Hey, we're not forgetting anybody. No. But it's time for $50. We have for this week. Demonte.
All right, everybody. Tom here. I'm doing a mid for the campaign, as you can see, I have right now. Right now, doing fundraising, raising up over $5,000. So if you know, doing this, I'm going to bring, so it's rare, near to my heart. So I'm asking for your areas that help donate any way possible. Let's see if you got some email or text messages, about that. And let's go, let's be careful. So here's what I'll do there.
Okay. You gotta go.
Yeah, I've got $50 for nephew, Kyle Burgers, who just got a new job as a sales rep. And tribute to that, Corey Hughes, what the lady and planted that job. That's up to Corey and celebrating Kyle.
Got $3 for eating those damn Irish this weekend. This is $3 for the 3 seconds left, in which it took us to eventually win on the walk away. And this is for the record. The last time Ohio State's lost to Notre Dame, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in his first term, 1936. So go Buckeyes.
Thanks.
Like a couple $100, but most of the lot is been last day, but most of the recently in my life, that video, and my first child, child and sending all of your variables.
Congratulations. Anybody else have dollars? It's great, lots of me. Okay, moving on to upcoming meetings. Yeah. Don't forget the red buckets in the middle of the table, spare change, for the Dimensional Alliance of North Carolina. And he stays local and goes to a good cause, fighting, portal disease of Alzheimer's and dementia. So upcoming meetings, next week we'll have, Randy Licky from District 1 or 710. He's going to speak about Rotary's New Polio Now campaign. We will not be on October the 9th, that's Columbus Day. We'll resume our Monday meetings on the 16th with Ramsey Godison, who is the CEO and president of Carolina Courage. That is our area's women's soccer team. And on October 23rd, we have John Pesh, who is from the Rotary International Foundation. He's going to get us prepped for Rotary Foundation Month, which is in November. This weekend, we have Rotary Leadership Institute or Learning Institute or RLI. There, a few of us signed up. I'm going to be attending phase 1. Is anybody else in the room going to be attending? Diamante, great. So there is still time to sign up. Yeah, so you can go to DAC TV if you need help registering, let me know and I'll help. It's going to be great. Cost is $95 and that will be reimbursed. Next, no speaker this week because we have a lot of things to get into. Tiffany, Rocket Time. All right, this week is this week's winner will receive $50.
No.
Okay, this week's winner, 8002421.
Oh.
What's that? 8002421.
That's next. Did you check your own ticket?
8002431. Was that the birth certificate?
Yes, yes.
No. Sorry. Okay, congratulations, Pete. Okay, Pat Rooney, we have a special presentation today, with all Harris colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Perry. As you know, we asked folks who joined the Rotary to support our foundation. And many of you do that in a way that is dependent upon how you strongly support it or simply accept the $25 we take each quarter. When you reach $1,000, as you know, you get a $400. But we also, when you give the contributions to the Rotary Foundation, get points. Many people don't think about those points. They can be used for various things. I've used them over the years. For example, when I found a charity that was giving $500 for their $1,000 for their first Irish fellow. I've given them additional 500 points, be able to make the 1,000 they need for their Irish fellow. But I decided that in morning, trying to make a little bit different. I took 5,000 points I had. We've got a number of points. And I chose 5 Rotarians in our club, who I believe have shown an example truly of service but stuff. As a result, I selected them to receive the 400 scholars. That can be done then to benefit another goal that I have, and that is to make the club a 100% Paul Harris Fellow club, whereby every member is a Paul Harris Fellow. Some of you have points that you can use to support others within the club. And again, the 5 that I've chosen, I did it in conjunction with Kerry and with Linda, but I think they've all deserved and shown superior commitment to the work of Rotary and to the service of the club. So I'm going to ask, there were 5 that I selected, but only 3 are here today. And so I'm going to ask Jen, Jay, John Luke, and Tiffany come forward, please. Finally, again, each of these 3 have shown superior commitment and dedication to the work of Rotary, particularly the work of this club. So in recognizing them, I hope this will be the beginning of an opportunity for more of our groups, which people have to. If you're interested in sharing some of the points that you have, please see me. We'll talk about how you can transfer those points and recognize others within our club that will have scholars as well. But again, today, I want to particularly recognize these 3 people who again have done superior work in the time they've been with us in our club. Congratulations to all. Okay.
Congratulations, and Patty is very modest. This was his donation for these 5 Paul Harris Fellow recognitions. So thank you, Patty. Let's give them another round of applause. And go see him if you're interested in how to donate coins. And I think you're well on the way for our PHF 100% club. Wonderful. Up next, John Cates, would you come up and talk about fundraiser?
Thank you, President Carey. On behalf of Juicy, who can't be here today as the fundraising chair, I'd like to remind you of our November 11th Saturday fundraiser at my farm. Last week I spoke to my why I'm now raising money for veterans and raising money for the Peace Fellows. This week, I'm challenging you to step up. On the tables, we have letters that speak to the different sponsorship levels, and I'm happy to announce that the real estate firm Transon is the first diamond sponsor. We're sponsoring a table that will be, there are 18 Peace Fellows. There'll be 18 tables. Each Peace Fellow has the opportunity to have his table sponsored. So for all of you there looking for ways to make a difference, step up, be a sponsor. In addition, I understand many times our fundraisers partially tax deductible because much of the cost of the fundraiser is paid for out of the proceeds. I'm doing everything to make sure that there are very few to no costs associated with this fundraiser. So we've gotten tables donated, we've gotten bartending services donated, we've gotten the food donated. We're looking for alcohol, beer, and wine to be donated. If you can step up and donate and step up and sponsor, please do. We're going to have a great time. Thank you.
And thank you, John, for the first diamond level sponsor. We have a competitive bunch, so I challenge you guys. Let's get some more. Should be a great event. We'll have an e-bike going on about that sometime in this week. So Richard, Frank, and Sarah, you'll make your way to the front.
Good afternoon, folks. Richard Davis, Service Chair. And I just want to say, I don't think it's a coincidence that our 3 Paul Harris Fellows are pretty much present in every community service function. Thank you very much. Thank you for these guys. Folks, we got 2 projects this month. 1 project next month we'll talk about. The first one, high priority here. It's our Bluegrass Festival, and we'll have Frank here give us a little more information about it. But we're crunch time, folks, and we really need some volunteers Friday night and Saturday.
Yeah, that is correct. Hello, this is our Bluegrass Festival. We have done this festival 8 years in the past. We didn't do it last year because the city kind of changed it, and it's now run exclusively by the IBMA, the Bluegrass Festival. So this is a chance for us to shine again and show the city and the Bluegrass Festival who Rotary is and what we can do. It's a great opportunity for a little bit of a fundraiser, as well as really getting down service above self and talking to folks on the street. We're going to be passing out flyers for what's going on in downtown for the Bluegrass Festival. So yes, please, Friday, Saturday night. I only have just a few people signed up. That's when the bulk of the people are there. There's going to be a lot going on. So please offer, come on out and be a sponsor with us and sign up for those events. We will be getting some t-shirts. This is what we've had in the past. It's a nice shirt for the Bluegrass Festival. So we'll have that. We're going to be selling water and watermelons. So it's 2 little items that makes a big impact for what we do. And I think it's a great opportunity for us to give back to the community and back to Raleigh, who we are. Thank you very much.
And the following week, we have our Dix Park project. And before I go to that, I want to again, once again, thank Sarah and Terry for donating to the Bluegrass. Sarah, you want to get words about it?
So farming for us has been going on 6, 7 years of things, and it's pretty easy to do. Or festival, there's a very, very popular free company patch the kids go to, there's food trucks, and then there's local vendors. And so your assignment will be whatever the volunteer city of Raleigh coordinator tells us to do, there. And I can tell you in advance what it will be, but it will not be difficult. So if we can pumpkin patch or information to do, or a ticket stand, something like that. It is a free event, the tickets are only for people who drink beer. Now, I'm the only person that signed up. So I'll be there, and I'd love for y'all to come, but we lost our spots. No, my husband used to stay with the dog, and it's like 50 bucks. Thank you. So we lost our spots, but the deadline was the 23rd. And I contacted the coordinator this morning. She did have some cancellations. I don't want to commit to them again and hold her up. So if anybody's interested, I'm sorry to email me. If anyone's interested, just see me afterwards. I'll still to talk to you about it. It's not that hard to do, and I can come to someone. And I want to have a lot of dates coming up, so that may be the problem. But if not this time, another time, or we'll just follow along next month. Thank you.
And finally, our next project in October is the 28th, it's our trunk or treat. That means Sanford Road Meeting Center. Sanford, excuse me. 5-7 is a free family event. About how many volunteers? Okay.
It's the Southeast Raleigh Club partner.
I got you. Partner with the Southeast Raleigh Club, I'll link out probably next week. But again, so they can get involved, and if I recall past years, it's been this is just a bug. It's like the spot where it's. Basically, everybody, please sign up for this coming weekend. It's a big and important event that we need help with. Just one shit. Thank you for the privilege of your time.
Hey, Harrison, I see you up here. Membership time.
Thanks so much. We have a lot to do with membership today. So first of all, yeah, thank you so much for being here. There's a lot of other things you'd be doing on a Monday, but coming here to hear why we are part of this community and what we're trying to do to add value to our communities is really special and important for us. So I hope that you find this to be an engaging group. And if you have a heart for service, well, put an application in. That's all. So we have several things to do today for free membership. So first, we are going to have our second reading for Randy Knox. Randy, if you will come up front with us. As a reminder, Randy is sponsored by Paul Corsa. He is a recent retiree, but still has a huge heart and passion for service. So Randy, if you could please come back up for product, another brief introduction again, and then just tell us, as we always ask, why Rotary? What's exciting about becoming a Rotary?
Absolutely. Thank you, Harrison. So I'm Randy Mouse. And as I mentioned last time, I've spent the last 30+ years in the nonprofit sector as a fundraising and marketing executive, started the United Way. And I've spent the past 20+ years here in the town, I'm a longtime resident. And I went through that career because I have a passion to make a difference in causes and missions that I believe in. And I believe that we can make a positive difference, helping others and transform their lives in a positive manner. And you know, in those 30+ years, what I've done is learned one thing. It's that any one of us can make a difference any time of day of our choosing to make a difference. But I do know that if we're working together and collaboratively with a vision and a plan, and then to work in cooperation with each other to execute that plan, we could be far more effective. And I believe the Rotary is the perfect platform to accomplish just that. And I made a decision to spend, this next phase of
my life as a retiree, because God is good, to stay active in the community. And I think this is the right place to do that, right platform, I think, for the city.
Thank you so much, Brandon. You have an opportunity to connect with him. He's been there for several meetings, so please try to find him after the meeting today. Introduce yourself. I'm excited to have him as a potential Rotarian. Next, we have the honor. I can make sure I have part of it down here. To induct Mike Brennan. Mike, as a reminder, is sponsored by Charlie Loveshaw, who couldn't be here today, but he might be on Zoom. He's on Zoom. He is on Zoom. Hey, Charlie. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you here.
All right, so Mike's membership application has been reviewed and approved in accordance with the club's constitution and bylaws. We will now proceed in admitting you to membership of the Rotary Club of Raleigh and to friendship of Rotary Raleigh. Before we do, we have a few questions. So question number one.
Will you join us as we strive to live a life of service to both?
Question number two.
Will you join us in our activities for certain projects, fundraising, support of our community? I will.
And question number three. Oh, no, that's me. Okay. I'm question number three. Will you join us in supporting Rotary's efforts worldwide focus of these 7 areas? Promoting peace, disease prevention, providing clean water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, and protecting the environment. You. And fellow Rotarians, will you join me in fostering and supporting Mike as he joins us in our pursuit of adding value to our communities through service above self? So please say I'll do it.
I will.
Gary, if you will provide him with this. And Rotary Club of Raleigh, please join me in welcoming Mike Brennan to Rotary Club of Raleigh. All right, it's happening. We're halfway done with membership. Next thing we have is a special honor, and it's actually surprised by these names. We have a John Case. That's John. And Leslie Oliver. We're excited to provide them with their blue bags today. So Leslie and John, you were approved by the members of the board of this club to hold an active membership in the Rotary Club of Raleigh. You expressed your willingness to become a Rotarian as your induction ceremony and pledge to abide by the principles, responsibilities, and obligations of Rotary in your personal and professional lives. You then received a plethora of list of things that you needed to check off to get engaged in your specific club as well as the Rotary, and you guys have done far and beyond the following. So truly honored today to provide John and Leslie with their blue badges, one from red badge and blue badge. And last thing, we have our social coming up the 28th this month of this week, 28th from 5:30 to 7 here at Tobacco Road. Please make sure to bring snacks for our those schools that we're supporting. And then as a reminder, if you are not a member and you would like to find out more about membership, please go see them.
Thank you, Harrison. All right, Jeff, I see you already standing. If you could make your way up to the front as I go through birthdays. Happy birthday to Sarah Reeves today. Happy birthday. To Eric. Eric Sutherland has a birthday on the 26th, and Dad, aka Eric Larson, the 28th. Rex Wilson on the 29th, and Tom Holder, is that scheduled for first? Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday. Anniversaries. Nathan and Rachel Thomas, the 26th, Linda and Brian Monahan, the 30th, happy anniversary. And Paul and Mom Forsta on November 1st. So with that, I'd like to invite up to the podium Jeff Collins, who's going to introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Carrie. Bill R. Folwell, CPA, was elected to his first term as state treasurer of North Carolina in 2016. Which reelected in 2020, currently serving his second term, responsible for $240 billion, which is about 8 times the annual budget of the General Assembly is currently running on. As Keeper of the Public Purse, Treasurer Folwell is responsible for the more than $115 billion state pension that provides retirement benefits for more than 950,000 teachers and other public servants. Under Folwell's leadership, the pension fund was rated among the top 5 best funded in the country, and just recently ranked as the most efficient public plan in North America. In 2021, the state funded AAA bond rating was reaffirmed by every major rating agency with only 13 states that currently have that honor. Treasurer Folwell also received the state health plan, which provides medical insurance and pharmaceutical benefits to more than 450,000 current retired public employees, making it the largest purchaser of health insurance in the state. Folwell was first elected to public office as a member of the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Board of Education. He brought his problem-solving skills to the General Assembly in 2004 when he was elected to his first 4 terms there. In 2013, he was named Assistant Secretary of Commerce and led a successful effort to pay off $2.7 billion in federal unemployment debt in our state. And instead built a $1 billion surplus in just 30 months. Treasurer Folwell began his career as a blue-collar worker and a certified public accountant and investment advisor after attending Winston-Salem State University and earning bachelor's and master's degrees in accounting from UNC Greensboro. Married for over 30 years, he was twice married, they have 3 children who live in Winston-Salem. Now that the Kansas stuff is over, I'd like to say that my first 4 terms in North Carolina House coincided with Dale's final his 4 terms in North Carolina House. I was one of those people that actually was elected as Speaker Pro Tem of the House that year. In my dealings with Dale, both as a colleague in the House and in his role as State Treasurer, I've always known him to have a dogged determination to make sure that every program he's responsible for is run as efficiently and effectively as possible, and that the dollars spent on it go to benefit those participants in the plans in the most effective way that can be done and at the least cost to the participants in North Carolina taxpayers, which I'm thankful for being one of them. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our State Treasurer, my friend Dale Folwell.
Adjust the microphone down after Jeff gets through talking. So, it's great to have you, Madam President. Thank you for having me. I got a lot of things in my heart this morning. I could get emotional. There are things happening on the road that are getting emotional about. I'm not be getting political for 2 major reasons. It violates the spirit of Rotary. And the second reason is the blood that runs through me is Quaker. Our church is celebrating its 250th anniversary this year. It's near Raleigh, North Carolina, in case you don't know where that is. That's Lower Marchdale. And if you know anything about the Quaker religion, you know that one of the spices of being a Quaker is to be very just. And with everything that's dividing our society these days, which is political party, gender, and race, none of that exists in the treasurer's office. The only color we focus on is green, G-R-E-E-N. I really did mathematics, so math makes you nauseous. We probably should get ready for the meeting and zoom out now. I was hearing the invocation this morning, and I'd like for you to consider going forward. There's actually a solution for Carolina, and many of you knew Tom Marshall, the spouse of the Secretary of State William Marshall, who passed away this year. But she always leads us at the Council of State meetings in this Lutheran North Carolina fight. It's only got 12 members, but anyway, it's something to do in his memory. Somebody who was still with us with him last Wednesday, and even as old as not this is, tell him I said that. He still has a lot of great sayings, and I didn't know whether to call you priest or minister. I asked that, and somebody from North Carolina State said you were amphibious, so you're actually good. I haven't checked. Anyway, Curtis handed me this bumper sticker. And it says, you can't see it in the back, what's missing? You want. Pretty creative. The reason I wanted to bring this bumper sticker to your attention of all the places that I go and all the speeches I give, there's something about this Rotary Club. When you walk into this room, you get fuel. It could be spiritual fuel, it could be mental fuel, but the fact is, there's so much activity going on in this Rotary Club. So I want to begin with March thanking you for advocating for the invisible. Mike, as you join this club, you're going to do a lot of things for a lot of people as a member of this club. And they don't necessarily know what a Rotarian is or what the Rotary Club is or what you actually do. But just like in the treasurer's office, we're there to advocate for the invisible. I just get such a strong feeling that is the motto and spirit of this Rotary Club. I also want to say that with everything that's facing our society these days, it gives me goosebumps. And I know there's a few doctors in the room. I'm told that the goosebump is the only bodily function you can actually control. It just happens. But it gives me goosebumps to think about where our state could be, where our society could be, where our country could be. If every elected official, when they put their left hand on that Bible, raise their right hand, if they would just take the four-way test and adopt the motto of service above self. It's unimaginable what our society would look like if that were to occur. So, as I go through my presentation, this is going to be a little bit like a country music song. Where's Susan? Are you the fiddle player? Yeah. So, my wife is, we're best friends with Wayne Henderson, and she plays a Henderson language. In addition to that, some of you have heard me speak before. Often described her as the most beautiful 250-year-old woman you've ever met in your life. And the reason is she has two jobs. She's a museum educator at Old Salem. Now, if there's any newlyweds in this room, don't do what I did 35 years ago. I said, if you won't marry me, I'll do all the vacuuming and all the ironing. Now, I'm funny with it. I never imagined that she was going to go work in a place where she wears thick layers of linen in the summertime. In the wintertime. And I mentioned her role as a museum educator at Old Salem. She's also in 4 different bands. And she's also a buddy speaker. You may not be as familiar with the buddy speaker program, but Representative Brady, Jeff, thank you for the introduction. He started this basically those are women play on points. And it takes good players out in the woods and teaches them biology. It's a great program. Second, actually takes kids out in the woods who have never sat on the ground. They have sat on the floor, they sat on the park. They sat on the street, the sidewalk, stairs. Many of them have never been in the woods to actually sit on the ground. So the impact that buddy speakers have on people is pretty incredible. I mentioned all this to you. Folks like me who go and give these speeches, but if you're the spouse of a teacher or anybody who teaches, protects, or otherwise serves in this day, it's the spouse of the public servants, which also put up a lot. And she always admonishes me, that's a nice word for me. She always admonishes me to put things in context, especially when you're talking about $248 billion. So the next few minutes, I'm going to do the best I can to maybe humor you a little bit, but definitely inform you about the state of North Carolina. I'm wearing this lapel pin today that has NC on it. And for your purposes, if you know what that stands for, it stands for nothing compares. I wouldn't trade places with any other state treasurer in the United States. And the South Carolina state treasurer just called me about 4 minutes ago. I wouldn't trade places with any other state treasurer in the United States based on some things that get ready to tell you. One of the 20 hats that I wear is I chair the State Banking Commission. And there's some banks that we regulate that you may not think of as being state chartered banks. BB&T Truist, state chartered bank. First Bank, state chartered bank. We'd like to get Pinnacle to be a state chartered bank. They're just the wrong state. First Citizens. So one of those 20 hats that I wear is the Great Lakes banking system, and the NCEA also stands for no crisis. That's as a new to that. It's been a very volatile time to be the chair of the State Banking Commission over the last 8 months, especially with the bankruptcy and almost contagion of Silicon Valley Bank. Your State Banking Commission actually approved part of it was part of the approval process for First Citizens Bank to take over Silicon Valley Bank. So there's a lot of work in there. That transaction is great for the shareholders, management of First Citizens Bank, and as the chair of the State Banking Commission and the state treasurer, it's a fantastic deal for North Carolina. So NC, it's going to come at you pretty quickly, so be ready. And number one is that we've been able to maintain our AAA bond rating during the most volatile period of our era. And I'm sad to say this as a 65-year-old. No treasurer has ever stood before you and said that the North Carolina bond rating is higher than the United States of America. But as of today, it is. And I'm going to talk about this in the context of leading up to 2010. This was the debt trajectory of the state of North Carolina. This is the general obligation debt. This is where it was headed. Now, I always talk about state issues. I'm going to digress and talk about the federal government. The debt and the deficit of our federal government is the single biggest national security crisis of my lifetime. And I don't say that emotionally. I don't say it politically, and the reason is that both political parties are responsible for this situation in Raleigh. It's funny how God made our hand that anytime you point a finger at someone, there's 3 more pointing back at you. And the fact is that the national debt situation in the federal government, the interest, the debt service of our debt this year exceeds the military budget. So I didn't make that comment emotionally, I said mathematically, because it's accurate. So leading up to 2010, this was the trajectory of the North Carolina general obligation debt. And since 2010, this is now the trajectory of the state of North Carolina general obligation debt. As a matter of fact, I'm reporting to you that over an 8-year period of time, the state debt of North Carolina is going to fall by 60%. 60. So if you want to know how we jumped up on the table, being number one in business outlook and business activity, in the words of former Congressman Folwell, it just didn't jump up on the table by itself. There's a lot of hard work and thankfully by the employers in this room, the taxpayers in this room, the president and the past general assembly who have balanced the budgets, built surplus, and established rainy-day funds. It gave me the tools that I needed in 2013 to pay off one of the most massive unemployment debts in the United States. Why should you care about unemployment debt? Well, there's somebody in this room who does, because you understand what a FUTA tax is, federal unemployment surcharge, and SUTA, state unemployment surcharge. This unemployment debt that North Carolina had been in existence basically since 9/11. After the recession of 9/11, the unemployment trust fund, which is doesn't get any money from the government. The unemployment trust fund went below zero. Anytime the federal government comes in October and takes a picture of your bank account, if it's got less than $1 in it, every employer in the state has to pay a surcharge. And those surcharges are not just year after year, they're cumulative. So it's 20 basis points on 20 basis points, 20 basis points. So being able to pay off that unemployment debt was fantastic, but more importantly, as we entered into COVID in 2020, the unemployment trust fund of North Carolina had $4 billion in surplus. No one could have predicted COVID. But that $4 billion was greatly needed as we had nearly 1 million people unemployed in our state. I was just talking to the first office treasurer of South Carolina. South Carolina and many other states had to go back and borrow more money from the federal government to get through COVID, which made the payroll taxes of those states go up. So my point of showing this graph to you is that when you look at NC's and for nothing compares, I don't think you can point to one school district, the city, a county, a state, or a nation who has ever retired 60% of their general obligation debt. So I think we have a good opportunity to make repeat next year, taking number one in business activity. Part of that AAA bond rating is based on the fact that you have one of the most secure retirement systems in the United States. Now, I say that to you because even though it's one of the best funded in the United States, and I want to be clear that when I talk about this, it's standing on the shoulders of many other previous great state treasurers. I was giving this talk yesterday. Full about on my show. I didn't realize this when I started giving this talk, that this body, son Edwin Gill, Harley Bowles. If you don't know who those individuals are, some people in here will tell you that those, especially Harley Bowles, was considered the best state treasurer in the states of America in the 20th century. So this retirement system is built on the fact that you've got a lot of good treasurers who understand what being a fiduciary is, which is a loyalty, duty to care, members and taxpayers. So the pension plan's in great shape. You just heard that we just got scored as being the most efficient pension plan in North America. All the credit, everything I'm talking about today, the credit goes down to hard state employees. And they have partnered with me and got nearly $700 million out of Wall Street fees out of the plan. I was asked by the Washington Post a few weeks ago, how do you cut $700 million in fees out of a pension plan? I said, it's like an ant eating a ham biscuit. Well, they didn't get it. I had to explain how an ant eats a ham biscuit, one bite at a time, right? And that's how we've been able to cut nearly $700 million in Wall Street fees out. Some other good news is that many of you heard 3 years ago when I sounded the alarm on your North Carolina transportation. I sounded the alarm because they taught me it was the Southern State and UNCG would follow the cash, follow the money. And I realized very quickly that our North Carolina transportation is literally writing checks with cash. Like $2 billion worth of checks. And plus, they eviscerated their highway trust fund by over $1 billion in 12 months. That highway trust fund did not get touched for over 17 years. So I want to bring this piece of good news to you because Secretary Folwell has just announced his retirement. And the governor and I are obviously political parties. But when I started presenting the evidence that this North Carolina transportation was writing checks with cash, eventually, former Secretary of Transportation lost his job, the former Chief Operating Officer lost their job, and the former Chief CFO lost their job. And the reason is that I found out that the DOT had been issuing 1099s. Now, why would the DOT need to be issuing 1099s? Because they're paying interest to people who are not paying their bills. That's why you issue it 1099. So, to the Secretary of Folwell's credit, I bring this in because 3 months ago in Raleigh, North Carolina, when we put them on a plan to replenish your public transportation, they did it in half the schedule time. So, really, round of applause goes to Secretary of Folwell and his team to get the DOT out of the ditch, so to speak. So, I think they deserve. Other good news is that I filed, there's a lot of attorneys in here, I'm not one of those, but I filed a friend of the court brief with the U.S. Supreme Court like 7 weeks ago regarding Mountain Valley Pipeline. This is often referred to in communication circles as the Joe Manchin Pipeline. It's bringing natural gas out of West Virginia into Chatham, Virginia. And the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is that we're number one in business outlook and activity in the state. We're the third fastest growing state in the United States. And the risk that we have in our economy to be focused on one pipeline is, I think, a lot of economic risk, given how large we are and how fast we're growing. So this is the pipeline that the U.S. Supreme Court reverse what the North Circuit did and allow this pipeline to be finished, which will be finished by Thanksgiving of this year. This is a pipeline that comes out of West Virginia, and it comes into Chatham, Virginia. And the reason I'm interested in this is that we need the 73 miles, which is called the Southgate. This is a 36-inch line, this is a 24-inch line, this is an 18-inch line. Bring this much needed natural gas from Chatham, Virginia into Greensville, Greensboro, and then east toward Burlington. It's very important that we get low cost of natural gas in our areas. We need to do that east or north almost. That's all the good news I have for you. I just want to quickly go over some of the bad news. We dechartered a town in County a year or so ago called East Martinburg. I was called by a lady who had lived there all her life. She was very upset that we had dechartered East Martinburg. And she said, well, no longer be a community. And I said, ma'am, have you been to any of our great cities in Currituck County? Oh, yes, sir. I've been in Currituck, I've been in Mogollon, I've been in Cornjog. She mentioned some things in Currituck County even I've never heard of. And I said, ma'am, I hate to tell you this, there are no cities in Currituck County. Not one. There is not one incorporated city in Currituck County. And I said, the reason I'm telling you this, even though East Marlboro is no longer a city, they can still be a community, just like the community of Currituck County. During that process, there was an election. This is the actual ballot. People asked me why I bring this stuff here. Well, I'll show you things you wouldn't believe. On this ballot is a mayor's race and 4 city council races. There's only one name on the whole ballot out of the 5 slots. And that person lost. Oh, that was sort of trying to remember. There's a little bit of sarcasm in there too. That person lost. The person got 3 votes, and somebody came in with their family and wrote down the name of 5 of their family, well, their family members. So even the community of East Marlboro, they don't have an interest in governing themselves. Well, we got through the East Marlboro, we went to a town called Spring Lake in Cumberland County, near Fayetteville. There we found $550,000 worth of checks that had been embezzled from the little town of Spring Lake. Now, the state auditor has also reported that there was 35 missing city vehicles in Spring Lake. You could have knocked me over with a feather, and I'm a big guy. You would have told me they even had 35 city vehicles in Spring Lake. Much less 35 missing city vehicles. So $550,000 has been invested in the town of Spring Lake. This is an example of a check made off of the town bank to the Heritage Nursing Home. And like some of you had to do, and I've had to do 4 times, you never send anything to a nursing home without your loved one's name. You never send anything to a nursing home without your loved one's name. This embezzler put her mother's maiden name in the memo line for the years. So I called the U.S. Attorney, Michael Easley Jr., the son of Governor and First Lady Easley. And he said, Mr. Treasurer, what kind of evidence do you have that embezzlement's been going on in Spring Lake? And I said, I'm not a lawyer, but I have a canceled check made out to a nursing home with the embezzler's mother's name in the memo. He said, I think I can go with that. So within 19 weeks, this person was indicted and convicted of these charges. And I'm saying that to you because it's my belief that the citizens are exhausted with the government. Things are coming at them so fast in so many different ways that none of us ever do. And here's an example. It's the only time I'll use this word. Here's an example of a Republican state treasurer. I'm the first one since President Grant, by the way. It's a long time ago. A Republican state treasurer, Democrat state auditor, and a President Biden appointed U.S. attorney, all coming together for the right outcome for the citizens. That's all people in this room, no matter how you feel about any different topics, see how people coming together to attack problems as we try to solve these serious issues that we have. The last topic I'll cover is we continue to fight the healthcare cartel. When I started taking classes at Mississippi State and UNCG, I stuttered more than I did now. And, I was advised by my professor when I was struggling to find just the right word to go to the Webster's Dictionary. Cartel is defined in the Webster's Dictionary as association which is formed from strict competition and raised prices. And we just put out latest report about criminalization of healthcare. What happens when these major hospitals do not align with charity care with the tax benefit they get? What happens when they don't abide by the president's executive orders to tell people what things cost? What happens when they break your kneecap and weaponize your credit score to not pay your bill? And the latest report we put out is showing the inequality and the discrimination that goes on when three people go into a facility with the same conditions and get the same service and get charged 1,000% different based on what type of insurance card they have. So we're not backing off of this. And as I close down my remarks, the reason is that as the people of the public service, I'm responsible for the state health plan. We have frozen the family premium for 6 years. We have eliminated the cost of insulin 4 years ago. We want to start talking about insulin. Because I'm starting to see the insulin interference tough for Australia, especially among people within my age. It could not tolerate that the price of insulin had gone up threefold in 7 years. We've done all these kinds of things, but the fact is that we need to lower the cost of healthcare in this state on behalf of all those people that teach, protect, and serve. My closing remark is to tell you for more information on this, you go to nctreasurer.com. I was particularly choked up a few moments ago when you were reporting Paul Harris Fellows. 43 years ago, our son was posthumously awarded a Paul Harris Fellow. One of Mr. Congress's employees, the Regional Rotary Club. So for all of you Paul Harris recipients, I understand the gravity and what it takes to run that numbers. Lastly, I got to tell a rule. Got here 1:30 short. There's people at every one of these tables that still has money at nccash.com. We have $1 billion still sitting at nccash.com. You've given out $110 million this year. We wrote 2 checks this year at $1.7 million each. One to a business and one to the public. Now, one of the members of that couple is never going to vote for me. The other one is very, very happy. You just need to think through what it means. nccash.com, we gave $200,000 to a lady, in a conservative candidate, Muslims in Salem. From an old boyfriend who was designated as a beneficiary of his life insurance policy that had never told him. The money was sitting there 11 years. So I was given these remarks, and I was told this part of the Rotary and North Wilson silence almost secretary. A lady in the chair with this part out in my hand and said, did you? She said, no, I just want to get my hands on that card as quickly as possible. And I said, okay. She said, I want to go to NC Cash and see if I've got any more. Now, there's a tiny chance that there are some people in this room that have old boyfriends that have $2.14 at nccash.com. That's when you need to thank our folks for unanswered prayers. He's famous song. But it's a real thing. There's 20 million entries, twice as many entries as citizens. Still 80 Rotary clubs that have money at nccash.com. You've got a great treasurer, but you don't have any at all. So these cards are at the end of the table. The last thing I'll say in the spirit of David Sprinkle, I wouldn't be here without David Sprinkle, who was the #1 page in the history of the Northwest community. David Sprinkle always knows that the soccer mechanic and that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. So if you're in a business in this room where you're cold calling someone, or you cold call anyone else in your life, look up their name, their church name, and their business name at nccash.com and print that off. It's all public record. And then before you talk about whatever it is you want to talk to them about, you hand them that piece of paper. People don't care what you know until they know that you care. My last name is Folwell. I want to thank thank all of you for being Rotarians. My time is up.
Thank you, Treasurer Folwell. You have many of these, I mean, this is something for this board. Here's another for your reflection. You mentioned our two-way test on the map, and I love what you said, all of the positions follow this. Yeah. Thank you very much.
I used to work at Bayberry's, and there's nothing, I don't get homeless off of this, I like it, Mississippi. But there's nothing I like better than taking one of the ducks and putting animals feed and making soup in it. Because it's one of the things I used to do in Bayberry's, Mississippi, being making soup. So this is a great thing making soup as we go on. Thank you.
Yes.
But I would say this, if you look at your license, it has a part on it, or if you are a family member is working, working tissue. Like this man, this never is called related tissue donation or the devil.
Thank you again, Treasurer Folwell, for your service to North Carolina and for coming to speak to us today. We always love to have you come and a hopeful presentation and a lot of things to think about. Thank you. So Rotarians, could you all rise with me and repeat the four-way test? And the things we think, say, and do is the truth, is it fair to all concerned, will it build better conditions, will be beneficial to all. Thank
you so much for taking
Thank you. Great meeting.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
Take care.